Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Sprout. So, since last episode, you can see I've done a bunch of work. um, Basically, since we got Living Rock, I was able to actually start building out a lot of the structure and stuff, and working on this Britannia-esque area. Okay? And I've decided, I think I'm going to move the majority of the Britannia stuff down here. We will still have, a lot of, well, most of this stuff is still going to be in place. The Elven Portal is going to get moved. The flowers are going to stay in the gazebo. I'm going to have to do a little bit of cleanup in there and whatnot, but they're going to stay over there. But for the most part, I think our Britannia stuff is all going to be down here. Okay? And I've actually added this staircase here that comes down, and there's a staircase here, and that's how you actually get down from there. I don't think I'm going to add one on this side. I don't think so anyways. But yeah, I've done a bit of work. I did start playing around a little bit with chisels and bits and doing some ivy. That takes a little while. I'm not anywhere near done with it. We have a bunch of living rock. 26 stacks at the moment. Almost 27. And I used a bunch. At first it was like... at first I actually had to shift this mana spreader because it wasn't producing living rock. And I was like, oh man, what's going on? Well, the mana burst was going straight into this mana spreader and then just going right over there. And it wasn't even feeding that mana pool. That was my bad. So I just kind of moved that mana spreader down beneath. The mana pool is actually above it now, and then it's, sending its burst over. Right now, the wood generation is turned off. I don't have any wood in the system. I've got plenty of wood over in the warehouse. I just haven't moved it over, and we have over 11 stacks, 11 and a half stacks of living wood at the moment. So I think we're okay with living wood. I just shut it off, and I was like, okay, well, that can just sit for a bit. I used a couple pieces of living wood since the last episode, and that was mainly on this railing right here. But yeah, over here I did start playing with chisels and bits. This isn't done either. I've still got to do corner pieces and then bring it all around and all of that good stuff. This is platforms. This is iron and dark oak platforms, and I kind of like the way they look with the build. And then I also had to go mine a bunch of glowstone. Like a bunch of glowstone. To do all of this. And then it kind of just falls down. We had this nice little swamp type area down here. So I figured it would just kind of feed off into this little pond down here. And so from like a distance, I think it's coming along. Last episode was the first episode in a bit where I had the resources to just kind of go crazy building. Nothing too elaborate, but we're starting to get some foundation. And then this is all jungle leaves out through here, and then these upper sections kind of wrap around. So I've still got a lot of landscaping to do and whatnot. Also, I have moved to just eating cooked chicken because we have so many chickens. We have 29 stacks of chicken. 29 and a half stacks of chicken. I actually had to put an upgrade in that, so now it can hold 416 stacks, because it was like, well, it's going to be filling up very, very soon. And then a little secret area off over here, which there's nothing in here right now, but this door. What could this lead to? I'll give you a hint. The charred stone is actually a hint. So, I'll go ahead and tell you, whatever. If you recall, I mentioned that we're going to have a dragon hatchery type area, and yeah. That's going to lead into our dragon hatchery. Because I'm thinking I want it underground, So what I'm going to do is... I'm trying to figure out what kind of stairs I want to put in. But we're going to have it kind of go down underneath the hill here. And then we'll have our dragon hatchery down there. So, fun stuff. That's my plan anyways. And then, of course, our dragon roost is going to be up there. I do believe. And we're going to have to actually take into account that we're going to have to build some pretty tall structure somewhere... once we get a little ways into Astral Sorcery, though I'm not for sure where as of yet, because it all depends on where the moonlight hits the strongest, which we'll get into all of that very, very soon. I haven't worked down here. I was actually wanting to work down here because I'm tired of this like stone this stone mess down here, but I spent all my time working down there. And actually I decided to I'm going to scrap this idea of the stairs going down, because I feel like it would be too intrusive. There'd be too much stairs and it would kind of block the view of that. So I'm actually not going to have the staircase. I want a lot of stairs leading to the different sections. That's why we have, like, you know, staircases all over and different ways to get to different places. But I don't think I want that many stairs, because that would kind of block this view if I did that. Granted, I could make it come down and around and connect over to that. We'll see. We shall see. But for right now, that staircase itself is... I'm scrapping that idea. I don't like it. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to be doing today. I think the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to automate stone. Okay, and then I was debating if I wanted to do Ars Magica and work on that a bit, or if I wanted to get into Astral Sorcery. And I was thinking about it last night, and I decided I want to start Astral Sorcery today. It's good stuff, because we need to get into Astral Sorcery, we need to get into Roots, we need to get into Runes of Wizardry, we need to get into Blood Magic. There's all these magical mods that we still haven't even touched. You know, it's been a lot of Ars Magica, Mine Colonies, Roots, I mean, not Roots, Botania, and stuff of that nature, but I would like to do that. So my goal today is we're going to do stone production first, then we're going to feed our dragon, because we have plenty of meat. I can feed my dragon up to full health. I mean, to full level. And then we are going to start Astral Sorcery a bit. Okay? So, stone production is very, very simple, actually. Because, of course, down there, we're actually producing stone. You know, making the living rock. And it's really, in essence, is a lot of the same idea behind it. So, let's go ahead and get a few things together here. And the first thing I'm going to want is naturally a bucket of water and a bucket of lava. Okay, I'm getting some stuff together just really, really quick that we're going to need for this build. Like I said, I mean, this build is super simple. There is a couple new things that we're going to have to get. One of those is a new mana lens that we haven't messed with yet, just to make it a bit easier. And I'm actually just about out of glowstone as well. I've got enough to make 2 floating flowers, but at the same time, this build only takes 1. So it's very, very, very simple. And that is the last of my glowstone. I used so much since last episode. Like, so much glowstone. So I'm going to try to get some more between this episode and next. It's not the easiest stuff to farm right now without flight, but I'm making it work. And I'm actually making 3 hopper hawks just because it's one of those things that we tend to need, like, all the time. So I figured... I'll go ahead and make a few of them. That way we've got them... Whoops. What did I just... I just threw a bed in there? Okay. I don't want that bed anymore. Alright, so I've got 3 hopper hawks. I'm only going to need 1 for right now. And then we'll use the other ones later. Hopper hawks are one of those things, like, you can't ever really have too many of them. Because you use them for, like, every single build, it feels like. So I do not mind making some extras. Okay, so we've got our hopper hawk. We're also going to need a bucket of lava, a bucket of water, some kind of building materials. I'm going to use living rock and mana glass. Now, I will say that the living rock, I'm going to go through and do some little detail work and stuff so that it's not just plain living rock. But I do want it to feel like a structure, you know, and like an elven type structure, and I don't foresee that having, you know, as far as walls and stuff. I think it looks fairly good so far. I just want to do a little bit of detail work, but the primary building material is going to remain living rock. So I'm actually very happy with the way it's turning out thus far. And then the last thing that we are going to want is going to be a weighted lens. This one right here, mana lens weight. Now this requires some prismarine shards, a mana lens, and a rune of water. I believe we have all those things. Rune of water, prismarine shards will be in here. And I got us a glass pane, and that's everything that we need, really, really, for this build. Oh, one other thing. Mana spreader, let's turn this into a pulse mana spreader. There we go. Okay, that's pretty much everything that we need for the build. I'm going to need 4 mana steel. Okay, this one is very, very cheap to set up. Like I said, I meant to... This is one thing I wanted to set up sooner, because I actually needed it down in the village, but cooking the stone, not a big issue either, so... At the end of the day, it's no big deal. Okay, and that's it for the build. Now, I'm going to have to get mana over to there. And what I'm thinking is I'm actually going to adjust this mana spreader to hit that one first. Probably next episode, we're probably going to build a mana battery. It really doesn't take very long. I just need to get a few things prepped for that. So, anyways, what we're going to do is let's set up... Let me actually get one other thing that I need here. And that's just a mana pool. Grab that. Okay, now we're all sorted. And then what we're going to do, let's go ahead and turn one of these into slabs. Get ourselves a slab. And I think as far as placement goes, I'm going to put it just right in this little cubby. It's a very, very small setup. And then we'll probably have the drawer like right here. Okay? So I'm thinking that we'll center it around that point. And so I'm going to say that we're going to have our water come out from, I think, right here and flow in. So I'm going to kind of case that in so that the water can flow to about this point right here. Okay? And then this, I'm just going to kind of follow that over. So we kind of have like a little cubby where water can go. Okay? And we'll go ahead and put that, put a little bit of mana glass there to kind of tuck that away. So we can see the water flowing through, but it's not, you know, all over the place. And then right here would be where the stone would be generated. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put our living rock slab just right down here. Alright? And then above this, we're going to do another bit of living rock right there. Our pulse mana spreader is going to be directly in front of us, I think. Is where I want it. So I'm going to put mana glass right here. And then that's pretty much where the build's going to be at. It's just right in this little cubby here. Okay? And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and just bring that up. So that is our stone generator spot. And then back here I'm going to go ahead and just put down some living rock right there. And then our mana spreader, I'm going to go ahead and put it down right here. Okay? So now I should be able to put in our water, and it shouldn't go anywhere. And you can see that it just flows into that one little spot right there. And now the next thing that I want to do is I want to bring this up by one. And I'm going to put living rock down right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put some living rock behind this spreader. I think I'll do like right there and right there. I'm going to kind of pillar up here just a little bit. And then behind this pulse mana spreader, we are going to have a mana pool, just like that. And that should be about it. Okay. And I was checking to see, I don't think you can actually see the, like behind that. If you can see behind the spreader, once we get everything set up, I'll probably put living rock around this area, but we'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and grab this pulse mana spreader, and I'm going to have it point directly forward. Okay, so it's pointing straight at the mana glass. And then what I want to do is just put on our weighted mana lens. We'll put it right there. And then, let's see. I think the only other thing we need to do is just fill the rest of this in up here. And then we've got to put in our hovering hourglass, but we'll do that once we get the mana sent over. It's like I said, it's a very, very simple build. Oh yeah, and I got to put down the lava. I'm going to put mana glass right here, and we'll put, do I want it like that? Actually, I guess that's how it needs to go, right? So what I might do, instead of having this here, let me break that off and put rock right there. So that's our stone generator. It's so small, right? Just this little bitty bit. So let's pop up here. I'm going to put the lava down and at least start the creation of stone, that part of it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put our lava down just right here. Okay. And so if we take a look here, there we go. There is stone. And I'm going to put just a little bit of living rock above that so you don't see the dirt. So I'll just put that right there. And there we go. That's what it would look like from the front. Very, very simple. Okay, so to finish this out, there's two things that we're going to need. First up, well, three things that we're going to need. We're going to need a phantom lens, I think. Let me see. Do we need a phantom lens at all? I don't know. I think we do. Okay, yeah, we're going to need a phantom lens. I could do a spark. Like I said, I could do a spark, but I don't know. I don't think I want to go with sparks, because then basically, you know, I have to have that open block above it, and I don't want to do that. So I think for this, we're just going to go with spreaders. That's fine. Both of them have like their own redeeming qualities. And I tell you what, I'm just going to grab like a stack of living wood. We're going to make a stack of dream wood just so that we've got it on hand like anytime that we need it. So there you go, get to crafting. And while that's crafting, I don't really have to stand over there. Well, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a piece of elementium. And we'll go ahead and get an elven mana spreader. I don't really see any point on making the standard ones anymore, you know, aside from pulse spreaders. That's about it. Okay, so there is that, and then I'm going to need a phantom lens. That's abstruse platform. Okay. And I went ahead and grabbed the stuff that we need for making the hourglass. I did forget to grab the sand, but that is okay. I do need to bring all this stuff down, probably between this episode and next. Now, this episode is a world download, so you guys will have access to the world. So good stuff. How do I make this? Can't remember. Or no, it's planks, isn't it? That is pattern framed. That's not the one that I needed. The other one, framed living wood. Okay, there we go. There's our abstruse platforms, and then I just need, oh yeah, I need a mana lens, right? And just so happens I had one glass pane left, so that works out perfectly. And there is our phantom lens. Awesome. Okay, I'm just going to throw all this living wood into there. Dream wood into there. Don't really need that. Okay. And, oh yeah, I'm going to need the... I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and set up the mana spreaders, and then I'll grab the rest of the stuff. Because I want these to start moving mana. So basically the one that we had pumping over into that mana pool right over there. Instead, we're going to have it pump over to this mana pool. And then what we'll do is we'll set up our spreader right there. We'll put our phantom lens right there. And then we'll have this one feed over to that mana pool. Okay? So very, very simple. And that pool over there should be filled, so this one should start backing up in just a moment. Okay, yeah, that pulse mana spreader's it has mana now. Okay, so the last things that we're going to need. We've got our hourglass. Let me go ahead and actually put down the hourglass, since we've got it. I love these zombies. Just hanging out, that's all. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to remove like that block right there, and we'll put the hourglass right there next to it. That'll be fine. Okay. And we've already went over, you know, hourglass is going to give that a redstone signal and cause the pulse spreader to send out a signal. You know, send out a pulse. And then all we're going to need is just a couple pieces of sand. You can do 2. I'm going to do 3. I don't know. I could do 2, I think. Basically 2 seconds. That should be good. So 1 stone every 2 seconds. And then I'm going to need just a drawer. Okay. So let me go get a frame drawer. And we're probably going to do it in the same fashion. You know, the living rock bricks. And then I guess with stone, I'll probably use living wood for that. So it kind of contrasts against the stone. I think that would be good. And we'll go with the pattern framed living wood. Still haven't sorted out these chests. I know, I'm terrible. But I know where everything's at, and most of it is just stuff that doesn't really have a place just yet. So I'm just like, okay. It's staying here for right now. So if you get the world download, you will get my mess. A little bit. A little bit of my mess. Okay, so that should be good. And then all I need to do is, I'm going to get a piece of stone to lock this in. I think I have 5. I have so little stone at the moment. Like, because I've pretty much, like, I knew, like, okay, we're going to start automating this. We're going to get this automated very, very soon. So I've just been like, don't really feel like cooking any stone at the moment. Okay, we're going to put that in there, and then we'll just lock in stone. And then let me get a key. And we'll lock that in, and that's pretty much it. We are pretty much done with this build. After we put down the hopper hawk and put in the sand. Okay, so the drawer is right there. We're going to put the hopper hawk right beneath it. Pretty much a common theme throughout this, right? And then we'll just put our 2 sand in the hourglass. So are the days of our lives. Alright, wait a second. Wait a second. You know what? I think this actually needs to fall farther. I think, yeah, that's what's happened. I've lost my mind. Basically what's happening is the weight of mana lens is going to cause that block to fall, and I put the slab right beneath it. Like literally like right there. So it's not able to fall. That was my fault. I don't know why I did that. Do not ask. So instead we're going to put the slab down like right here. Okay. Now it needs to be... Basically the block needs to... When the block falls, it needs to fall down at least a block space. And then you need to have something down there that can break it. Now you can do torches, but the only thing about torches is water. If the water happens to hit them, it's going to break the torch. The slab will break a block just like a torch, but it's not affected by water. Okay, so that's why we have that down there and whatnot. Okay, so now if I put the sand in there, you'll see that it drops that stone, makes another piece of stone, makes more stone, and this should be... There we go. We have 5 stone, 6 stone. Sometimes the Hopper Hawk takes a second to grab it. That's fine. Not really a problem. Because the Hopper Hawk seems to 10 stone, 12 stone. It's picking everything up. Sometimes the Hopper Hawk, the timer resets for it to pick things up when things go into like a stack. So that's why sometimes it's taking a second to grab it, but it's not really a big deal. I need to get the actual mana battery set up though, because it's... You can see, I mean, the speed of this mana pulse is so slow that, you know, it's not keeping up with our stone production at this point, which is fine. I mean, this stuff's all automatic, and there we go. I have automatic stone. Now, once I actually get the mana battery set up, this stuff will be able to run at full speed without worrying about, you know, if there's enough mana or anything like that. But just right now, that pulse is so slow, and it doesn't carry enough mana to run this until the next pulse. Because this thing runs very, very fast, you know. Every 2 seconds, piece of stone, piece of stone, piece of stone. So, as our cobbleworks, you know, kind of builds up, it is going to use a little bit of mana to do that. But, I mean, you know, it's cobbleworks with just magic. It's great. I love it. So anyways, that part is done. I'm going to go ahead and mark off smooth stone. Okay, so we have smooth stone being produced. And honestly, I mean, we've already got over a half a stack since it started. Leave this running for a little bit and we'll be set on smooth stone. And actually I think it looks quite nice. I'm very, very happy with it. So, but that's it. It's very, very simple. Pulse spreader, weighted lens, hourglass, mana pool, a Hopper Hawk. That's about it. Just make sure that your slab, like for example, if this is the drop shaft, you're going to want the slab, you know, on the bottom of this block. If you had the slab instead, say, right here, then your block would just fall, land on top of this, and just sit. Okay, so you need to make sure it's low enough that's going to break the block. Like, you know, the stone would hit this. It can't sit on a half slab, so it would immediately just break. So just bear that in mind if you're having any issues. Make sure that that is configured correctly. So anyways, on to what we're going to be doing next is I think we're going to feed up our dragon. Okay? And I actually took him out for a joyride between episodes. I was flying him around and stuff and having a bit of fun. That dragon egg, we're going to hatch it. I'm going to wait till we get in our hatchery area. I am going to be working on that, but I am going to wait till we get in there. So, alright, but let's start off with like a stack of meals. So I'm going to get like 4 stacks of chicken. And then, what all do we need for... It was bones and something else, right? The dragon meal. Okay, it was just bones. So I'm going to need 5 stacks of bones. I hope I have 5 stacks of bones. I do. I actually have almost 6 stacks of bones. So that's pretty much all my bones, but we're going to have lots of dragon meals. So I will say the skeleton generator, that's something that we're going to have to get in the very near future, because messing with dragons, like, even just having one dragon, you go through a lot of bones. So we will definitely bring a skeleton spawner into play very, very soon. Alright, so let's bring our dragon out. And as of right now, where's he at? On stage 3, 55 days. Okay, that's great. And he could use a little bit of a top off on his health as well, but... Alright, let's go ahead and start feeding this guy. Okay, that's 24 meals. Oops, I did not mean to do that. he's getting big. He's a stage 4 now. It's 79 days. Okay. Let's go ahead and feed him up a little bit. There's another 10 meals. 89 days, still stage 4. Probably, what, 100 days, I imagine? Oh, he just kind of changed colors there. Stage 5, 100 days. And then we can still make him bigger. Oh my gosh. How big is he, by chance? How big is this guy? Oh, he's huge. He's like as big as my house at the moment. So how big can I make him? He's huge. And he's still eating. That is 119 days as a stage 5. Like, he is going to wreck other dragons. Alright, let's go ahead and top off his health, too. I was going to take a ton of food. Okay, I tell you what. You come with me. Okay, let's go... Like, honestly, I'm wondering if that one chicken farm is going to feed him. Like, he's so big. He's so massive. Like, all these chickens have to lose their lives just to feed this dragon. Okay, I'm going to grab like another 5 stacks of chicken. I know I don't have the bones to make a whole lot of meals, but we're going to make what we can. And get him as large as we can. Actually, rib bones. These make bones, right? Yes. Okay, I'm going to use every bone that I have. I'm going to use all the bones in my body. 46 more meals. Okay, I mean, if he reaches a cap-out point, that's fine, because we're going to need these meals for other dragons, you know? And depending, he's a male. And I would like to breed him once we get a female. Let's go ahead and feed him up as large as we can. Oh, now I'm just wasting meals. Whoops. So, oh, gosh, he's so big. How large does he, 141 days seems to be the max size. Okay. Sounds good. And, oh my gosh, it's going to take, each piece of chicken is 1 health. It's going to take a ton of chicken to get him up to full health. Like, a lot. I'm starting to wonder if my original, like, dragon roast, I'm going to have to expand, like, it's going to have to be big. It's going to have to be very, very big to house our, like, big war dragons. Now, I will say that my goal isn't to make every dragon max size. You know, I want different sizes eventually. But, like, we're going to have, like, big, like, war dragons. And, you know, this one is, in fact, one of them. I'm going to summon him down here. How you like being down? Yeah, it's massive. That is a monstrous, monstrous dragon. Oh my gosh. I never expected him to be this big, honestly. I mean, he's huge. These are like my offerings to him. Just eat all this chicken. Plates and plates of chicken. Tell you what though, having a dragon is not cheap. Like, you need some serious meat production. Because I thought, well, you know, I've got like 1,500 cooked chicken. That's probably more than I'll ever use. No. That's like a feeding for him. Like, I had, well, okay, I had almost 32 stacks of chicken. How many stacks of chicken do I have now? 18. So, he ate over 10 stacks of chicken, basically. I mean, I know I have some left over in here, but I also had some on me that I was eating and stuff. I mean, he ate a massive amount of chicken. 500 health. And I believe that's it, right? Whoa, wait, what? That just brought his health down. No! Because I was kind of looking to see. I mean, I know his health doesn't get up any higher, but this is like fall to your death. His days go up. It's just he doesn't really get any more health. I don't think he gets any bigger either. So he stays the same size. That's okay. Alright, let me go feed 100,000 1,000 more chickens to him to get him back up to full health. Basically, don't... Once you get your dragon to full health, I guess, don't feed him any more chicken meals. Okay. He is back up to full health again. Haha. Look at that monster. That is crazy, though. Alright, let me get him in his horn. Come along. Okay. And to name him, I guess we've got to use a name tag, right? I'm thinking. Because I can't click on it to name him from there. So let me get, let's see, string and gold nugget. I can make a name tag. I may have some lying around, I don't know for sure, but that's fine. I'll just do this, that. Oh, by the way, you may notice my XP's down. I actually died from starvation because I AFK'd for a minute to go, like, eat dinner, like in real life, and then my character died. Because I was waiting for... The reason I AFK'd instead of pausing was because I was waiting for living rock to build up. Because I was trying to build, and I kept running out of living rock, and then I just died. So, anyways, let's go ahead and name him, I think. And I believe we are going to go with... I cannot... why can I not type... Oh, probably because I haven't put any items in there. That would make sense. Don't judge me. Alright, I believe we're going to name him Ghidorah. And of course that's from Godzilla. And I think it's a very fitting name because it's like the exact same color scheme that he has. Doesn't have 3 heads, but... or he doesn't have 3 heads, but that's okay. I do think it's a fairly fitting name for him. So, let's go ahead and name him. And there we go. Now his name is Ghidorah. And haha. And he is kind of like... As far as our dragons go, like as we get more dragons and stuff, he's going to be like our big brood father. Like, I don't know that I'm going to make all the dragons this big. You know. But Ghidorah, he was our first, and he's going to be like the big male dragon. Then we'll probably have like a brood mother that lives down in the, you know, the breeding den. Like the hatchery. He's just so big, like... Tell you what though, he flies extremely fast. But it's kind of hard to, like, see anything with him. If only there wasn't, like, the twitchy screen stuff. Anyways, let's burn the landscape. Oh. Just a super monster dragon. Like, any neighboring villages give us trouble, we're just going to roast them. I am going to have to find a village. Let's go find a village and, like, burn it down. There's got to be some around here that we don't care about. So, oh, here we go. This is the perfect thing to burn. We have a boat filled with people. I don't know, yeah, it's all pirates. Okay? So we are going to kind of ruin their day here. One just went flying off the ship there. That is how you clear out a pirate ship. There's one that like jumped off the boat and he's just swimming over to the shoreline. He's like, no thanks. Oh my gosh, like that just eradicated that. Let me bring him in for a landing here. That just completely eradicated that pirate ship. Where'd that one pirate go that was like swimming to shore? I think he just like despawned or something. Haha! No more pirates in my lands. Okay, let's go see. Because it seems like it salvaged all the chests. It left them alone. Or something. What do we got here? We got gunpowder and stuff. Oh, TNT. That's fun. Look at all the items, like, sinking to the bottom of the ocean. All the wreckage from the pirate ship. I mean, that pirate ship didn't stand a chance. Like, it just got roasted. Like, completely roasted. That's great. Ooh, fire charges. I will take those. And just like pirate flags floating in the water and stuff. Like, this is the wreckage of the ship. Oh, and that's charred stone. I bet it was stone. But anytime a dragon like breathes on stone, it becomes charred stone. So, okay. Anyways, that is the power of the fire dragon. That is the power of Ghidorah. Okay, so while we were gone, we're up to 12.5 stacks of stone. It's moonstone right now. So, and we're still producing living rock. We've got 37 stacks of that now. I did bump this up to 3 seconds, just because it's plenty. You know, I mean, this runs for 10 stacks every, I don't know, 30 minutes. I mean, that's fine. You know, I'm happy with that. And there's also an issue. When I got back, the lava was pouring through, and sometimes there's an issue where the lava moves faster than the water and the lava flows straight down. It doesn't make cobblestone. It's weird. It's like just the liquid doesn't update correctly, and 3 seconds tends to fix that. Now, if it doesn't, we can make an adjustment with a piston. Very, very simple adjustment. I'm going to watch it and see. And if that happens with 3 seconds, then we'll do that. But I think 3 seconds tends to be a bit safer. So I went ahead and bumped that up. But anyways, let's go ahead and start Astral Sorcery now. I'm very, very excited for this. Because, for one, Astral Sorcery is an awesome mod. And in addition, there is the next part of our cobbleworks. I want Astral Sorcery, because you can make sand. I've made sand with Botania. If you're wanting to go pure Botania cobbleworks, you can make sand. If you look in here, mana infusion with an alchemy catalyst, cobblestone makes sand. Okay. However, with Astral Sorcery, there's a lot easier way to do that, which requires no mana. We can actually do it with absolutely no Botania items whatsoever. Just Astral Sorcery, one item from Astral Sorcery, and some lava, and phew, you're done. So, I think that's what we're going to go with. And let me get my Akashic Tome from Astral Sorcery. And this is going to be, we're going to be using this a bit. Let me throw some of this stuff back into here. Kind of clean out the inventory a little bit. Okay, so if we take a look in our Akashic Tome, basically you have two different tabs here. You have Knowledge, that's this tab. Then you have Constellations. This tells you the constellations that you found. I'm pretty sure that there's, I can't remember if there's 5 now, or maybe just 4. But if you open these up, whoops, you can look at them. I mean, it tells you basically the moon phases and stuff. We'll get into that. That's not important at the moment. For right now, all we really need is this Knowledge tab. And basically any of these galaxies, you can zoom in with your scroll wheel. And when you zoom in, you see there's little entries here. Now, basically these, it's going to tell you, like, ancient shrines would be like your starting point. That's where we've been finding the constellations. And generally, if you notice, there's like a little white starburst or white star beam leading into additional connections. And basically that means like ancient shrines would be like your starting point. And it basically just talks about, I'm not going to read through all of this, but it just tells you about those ancient shrines that we've been finding, and then about finding that constellation paper. That stuff, we found constellation paper, we found ancient shrines, we've talked about them before. But the first thing that we're going to be going towards is the resonating wand. Okay, there's also a tab here for ores. It talks about rock crystal ore. We'll get into that one very, very soon. Aquamarine shale. I'll show you guys some of that in just a second, actually. I know where some's at. But we are going to be getting our resonating wand. Now, if you look in here, it takes 2 aquamarine, an ender pearl, and 2 pieces of marble. Now, in this pack, you can actually use aquamarine from Silence Gems as well. So I think all of mine, I think you can use aquamarine from Silence Gems, right? Okay, no, you have to use Astral Sorcery aquamarine. Either way, it doesn't matter. That's fine. I've got both. There's a couple gems from Silence Gems that basically overlap. I don't think Yeah, I can't put that aquamarine in there. Okay, so it is just Astral Sorcery. That's fine. And then we're going to need an Ender Pearl and just a couple pieces of marble, which we have plenty of that. And I will say that this mod uses a lot of marble. So I've found a few marble deposits. It's definitely something that you're going to want to get your hands on. Marble is very, very important. And then in addition, I'm going to want a crafting table. And just a vanilla one is ideal. I don't think any other, like, I don't think the simulation ones or anything would work. Now, if you look in here, though, if we put this down here, you're going to notice that it's not going to be craftable. Okay? So, I can't make the resonating wand in a crafting table. And even the vanilla crafting table, that's the same. I'm not going to be able to use it. Because it requires a new, basically a new mechanic, I guess you would say. You actually have to take a crafting table and go find yourself an Astral Sorcery structure. But actually, first, let me pop down here. There should be some aquamarine lying around. You're generally going to find aquamarine, like the Astral Sorcery aquamarine, right down there. Okay? It's like under the water here. You're going to want a shovel. And then we can just mine that stuff up. I'm going to go ahead and grab this one as well. I've found, honestly, most of mine I've just grabbed from chests and stuff, but aquamarine's fairly easy to find, in my experience. It's not too hard to come across. But, okay, here's a structure. Generally, these, you're going to want one of the larger ones, and they're generally going to be at slightly higher altitudes, around Y100, sometimes higher, you know, especially if you're running, like, amplified terrain or something like that, you're going to be able to find them a bit easier, the larger ones. There's also the smaller ones, like if you recall, we had one next to the village. I actually tore it down, but we had one right over there next to the village. It was a smaller one. But these larger ones, I think I've already gotten, yeah, right down here. If you go down inside of these, what you're looking for are these floating crystals. It does, you know, you do need one with a floating crystal in it. And then, I actually haven't looted that. And I'll grab these bones. Okay. See, aquamarine's generally very easy to come across. But this is where we're going to have to put down our crafting table for right now. Eventually we'll have a better way to do this. But I'm just going to put my crafting table down right there. It can really be anywhere near this floating crystal. It doesn't have to be right there. But you'll notice it sends down a little white beam of light down to this crafting table. And basically it allows it to do just the very early Astral Sorcery crafts. Some of the higher stuff requires more starlight. These basically, what they are is they're like compressed starlight, okay? And they'll emit starlight to a crafting table. And all of Astral Sorcery revolves around starlight, you know. Once we get into some of the later stuff, we're going to be looking at constellations. We're going to be using starlight for crafting and, you know, setting up places outside. And most of your stuff in Astral Sorcery will be done at night. But this stuff right here, you know, the floating crystal, you can use that any time of day. So we'll just lay out our craft real quick, and you can see that we can get ourselves a resonating wand. Okay, so very, very simple, and that is how we get that. Now that we have that, they're going to talk right here about white lights gathering. We're going to have to wait till nighttime to be able to see that. And I don't think that it's nighttime right now. Let me take a look. No, not at all. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn our attention then to the luminous crafting table, because we could go ahead and get this. Now, to make this, you're going to need a bit of marble, 6 pieces of marble, and then a crafting table. It looks like you can use any of the gemulation ones if you wanted to. And then also sooty marble, okay? And right up here, this is just tabs talking. One's talking about marble and all the different types of marble that you can craft within Astral Sorcery. And then sooty marble is marble around coal, okay? And it says, sooty marble collects sunlight during the day by heating up and radiates it throughout the night. This new type of marble may prove to be just as useful as regular marble. Basically, the standard marble, the white marble, that collects starlight. You know, that's, I mean, just putting down some marble isn't going to do anything for you, but the idea behind it is that standard marble is better at collecting starlight and radiating energy from that, whereas sooty marble collects sunlight and radiates energy from that. Okay, but let's get ourselves a bit of marble. I'm going to go ahead and grab just a stack of it. That's fine. And then we'll just need a piece of coal. And really, I guess I could go back over there. Because this, oh no, I'm actually going to need another crafting table, in fact. Because this has to be a luminous craft using that floating crystal that we found. So let me get some pieces of wood here, get a crafting table, and then I'll go ahead and get a piece of, or a bit of sooty marble. There we go. And then we'll go on and head back to our little structure. And honestly, after this, we shouldn't have to use this structure too much anymore. Not to say that we won't ever use it, but the idea is kind of getting away from this and being able to craft at our base here shortly. So anyways, let's go ahead and lay this out. Crafting table, sooty marble, and that's all kinds of wrong, isn't it? There we go. And that's going to get us our luminous crafting table. Okay, and it just popped up and said your vision expands, you learned more about exploration. So what that means is we've unlocked some more stuff in our Akashic Tome, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. But we're going to go ahead and head on over and set up our new crafting table. Okay, now this thing, the higher altitude that you have, the better. I'm actually planning on building like an observatory type area somewhere, and we'll get into that more later because there's an item that we're going to want before we do that, and that is the Skywave Resonator. It's going to be a little while. It's not too far into the mod before we get this, but this is when we can actually start really optimizing the mod, I guess you could say. But let's go ahead and put this thing down. And there's a couple caveats to this. You do want it to have an unobstructed view of the sky. Also, the higher elevation that you have, the better. I believe the book says, yeah, atmospheric interference of starlight seems to disappear entirely at around twice the height of sea level. Okay, and sea level should be, I want to say that sea level should be about 60, right? I could be mistaken. Let me pop down and see. I would think this would be about sea level right here. And yeah, that's about 63. And right now we are at 128. Okay, so this should be a fairly good height to set this up. So we'll go ahead and put it here. Now that doesn't mean this is the best place to collect starlight, because like I said, the Skywave Resonator, once we get into that, there's better places. Basically better places that are suited more for starlight and everything, but for right now this will serve our purposes. And once nighttime hits, we'll start seeing this start to slowly fill up. And it'll fill up with starlight, and then we can use that starlight for our crafts. Okay, just like with the resonating wand, anything that you see right here, like that says luminous crafting table, that's going to require so much starlight to craft. Certain crafts, you know, moving forward, that floating crystal really wouldn't provide enough starlight for a lot of our crafts. The resonating wand and the luminous crafting table, those are very, very cheap on starlight, so that's why the floating crystal could handle it. But anyways, let's go ahead and open up our Akashic Tome. And we unlocked a new discovery that should be right down here. Exploration. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom on into this. And if we take a look here, you'll notice that most of the stuff is pointing away from the light well. Okay, the light well is pretty much going to be... there's also rock crystal. We'll cover rock crystal in just a minute once nighttime hits. But I think the light well, and that's going to require rock crystal. Okay. But let's see, that's going to require chiseled marble, runed marble, and aquamarine. I actually think I have a lot of this stuff lying around. And it's almost nighttime, so we'll be able to go find ourselves some rock crystal, hopefully. But okay, so I've got... let's see, 3 pieces of runed marble. Yeah, I'm going to need some more. That's fine. Alright, let's get ourselves some chiseled marble. And then we'll get some runed marble. And that should be everything that we need to craft it. And then we're also going to need aquamarine, which we've got that, and we're going to need rock crystal. Okay, and the sun should be setting right now. It is. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out our resonating wand. and we are going to go find some of those auras that I was just talking about. Now, generally, they're at a decently high elevation, so I'm going to kind of pop over to here, see if I can come across any. They do get a little bit easier to spot, if I recall, when the stars get a little bit higher in the sky and it gets a bit darker. Aha! We have a Yeti from Grimoire of Gaia. 2 Yetis from Grimoire of Gaia. The first time running into these on this pack, actually. And we got some fur. Awesome. That stuff can actually be sold. I'm going to kill these guys off. There's one. You can see kind of like these little like white light effects coming up out of the ground. And what that means is if we were to dig down... Oh, would you guys... Stop it. And you're going to have to dig down generally pretty far. It's generally around bedrock. Okay? That you're going to finally come across this stuff. So be prepared to do a little bit of digging even after you come across those. It's weird because this Enderman's like not attacking me. He's just like hanging out by me. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Let me kill this guy off real quick. I don't know what he's like, why he's not fighting back though. Okay, but anyways, we've got some rock crystal ore. So let's go ahead and mine that. And we got these such pure crystals. Now this stuff is very, very rare. Generally, you're only going to find 1 per marker. But you can see that we got 4 rock crystals from this. Okay? And if you hold shift on these, they have different sizes and purity and cutting. And that basically corresponds to tools. Like as far as making what we're going to be making right now, that those numbers aren't really all that important. But if you want to make the weapons and stuff, basically size is going to affect like how heavy it is. So the lighter it is, the faster that it can swing. But basically your size is going to go down anytime you sharpen it. So like cutting, for example, is going to be the damage it deals or the mining efficiency that it has. But as you sharpen it, it's going to get better. You know, we actually used the sharpening stone, if you recall, a bit back to sharpen our sword with a temporary attack plus 10%, which it has wore off. I need to do that again. But basically with these, with the Astral Sorcery stuff, if you sharpen things, it's going to take off the size. Okay? But the nice thing is the Astral Sorcery stuff has basically infinite durability. But eventually if you sharpen it too much, you're pretty much going to sharpen it and it's going to be gone. Like, you'll just completely destroy it. But I don't know for sure if I'm going to make really any of those tools, the picks and swords and stuff like that from Astral Sorcery, just because we have the Silence Gem stuff. So I don't think we'll worry too much about the size and purity and cutting and all that stuff. I mean, some of the stuff's not too bad, like the Infused Crystal Sword, that's 42 DPS. We might... Or 42 DPS. But actually ours is still... ours is 47, so I don't know that we'll worry too much about those. We may make some later on, but... for right now, I just want the rock crystals. And you can see, actually, this buffer has slightly filled up a little bit. And so what we're going to do is we're going to lay this out, and I'll never remember the recipe off the top of my head. And then chiseled marble, aquamarine, and then just any rock crystal. I'm going to go with one that's not as good. Let's go with this one right here. It's only 8% cutting. I don't know. We'll go with that one. Okay. And you can see that we actually need a bit more starlight infusion before we can use this. And you can see right here that this is starting to kind of go down as the sun starts to come up. Because like this buffer, I call it a buffer, but one thing to note is that it doesn't actually store up the starlight. It's more like that's how much starlight it has access to. So once you find a good spot that has a lot of starlight, then you know you can pretty much just do back-to-back crafts if you wanted to. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna have to wait till the next nighttime, so that's gonna take a little bit, but we'll make a little like post up here at Y150. Maybe this will have a little bit more starlight, I hope. Otherwise we're gonna have to like kind of shop around and see if we can find some better spots with more starlight available to them. Okay, I went ahead and got the stuff to craft 4 of these. We're going to go ahead and just use up all of our rock crystals. And then this is the last of our aquamarine. So I'm definitely going to have to do a bit of mining between this episode and next and get a bit more aquamarine built up, because we're going to be using a bit of it now. I just wasn't in any rush at the time. I wasn't going out of my way to collect aquamarine. So, but the sun's starting to set, so hopefully we'll see our moonlight go up a bit as that happens. Or our starlight go up. There we go. But we have to get it up at least to this threshold here. Which honestly, once we optimize things with our setup, that's not going to be that much starlight. But for right now, it takes a little bit more effort to get into that much starlight. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're not going to be able to reach the starlight that we need here, I don't think. So I'm going to go ahead and move this, and we'll head on over to this mountain and see if we can maybe find a spot with a little bit better starlight. Here we go. Look at this. This is serious right here. Okay, this is perfect for our needs. This route is our ideal spot, I think. Okay, and then we'll just put this in, and there we go. It shows the light well there. And then what we can do is we can just right click it, and we get these really cool little effects and sound. And there we go. We got ourselves a light well. Let's go ahead and make another. I want to go ahead and get 4 of these. And I tell you what, for right now, we'll just set them up here. Eventually we'll move them to a more permanent location, but this place gets a lot of starlight, so we're just going to put our light wells down like right there, and then like right there. And then let's go ahead and get this last one crafted. Now honestly, you can do this with just one. I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of these. And one thing to note, I'm going to use a bit of this stuff for decoration too. So, because I think this mod has some of the best looking blocks ever. I mean, these things look so good, and they will match so well with our base. But then once we have our light wells, what we can do is we can just right click liquefied light. I don't think they're supposed to like wiggle waggle around inside of there like that, but that's okay. But you'll notice this starts filling up with some kind of a liquid, right? And that's aquamarine, by the way, that I'm putting into these. And once that builds up enough, we can actually get a bucket of it. Get and that's what I'm after right this second, is a bucket of this liquefied light. You'll notice this one actually broke. They do have a chance to break after a bit. They also have a chance to create these little like sparks as well. We may see one of those in a minute. You can actually see the starlight starting to kind of fade away, so these are probably slowing down a little bit. I will say the fluid that these make, it's one of my favorite fluids. It has an amazing texture and stuff to it. Alright, I'm going to go see if I can find some more aquamarine, and once nighttime hits again, we'll finish out making our first bucket of liquefied starlight. We've got a couple that are nearly there, but whenever the sun comes up, they really don't produce all that well. So there's no use like standing around by it during the day like that. So I'll be back in a minute once nighttime hits again, and we can get ourselves some starlight. Okay, so I got almost 2 stacks of aquamarine. Like, that's how easy. And all I did was I mined this area right here and this river right here. Was really all the mining. Yeah, I don't think I may have mined over here. I can't remember. One of these two, maybe both of these. But it didn't take very long at all. So, and I went back and grabbed one item, like a piece of gold there. But, by the way, these flowers, the frost lilies, there's also a fire version that you can find in the desert. We're going to grab those, because they're used for breeding dragons, which will be starting before too long. But it looks like this one is... There we go. We got our very first bucket of liquefied starlight. Just to give you an idea of what this liquid looks like, if I was to put this down, look at that. And it actually emits light, too, which is really, really cool. I do quite like it. And there's some really neat things about it I'll show you in just a moment. Or actually, it might be... Well, I'll show it to you, and then the next episode we'll actually use it. But anyways, what I want to craft right now is the Skywave Resonator. Okay? This requires aquamarine, liquid starlight bucket, gold ingot, and marble. Not a problem. Go ahead and lay this stuff out. That goes there. Right, right. Is that right? Okay, maybe it has to be Astral Sorcery marble. Marble. Yeah, I think it does. Let me grab my chisel. I should just be able to chisel this, and that should be fine. There we go. And then, once again, we'll just right-click this with our resonating wand. Now, honestly, I don't know that I'm going to need this, because I think I found what I'm looking... Oh, there's a flare. That's what I was talking about. These things, they have a chance to make flares. These are actually entities. You can push them around. Sadly, they do die after a while. And killing them, you don't get anything from them. But they are just kind of a neat little thing that can happen when you're running these aquamarines through a light well. But anyways, if we grab this Skywave resonator and we look through it... Oh, this actually isn't. Is this not one? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple more buckets of that liquid starlight. And let's see, we're going to run around with this, because what we're looking for is basically an optimal... We can use the Skywave resonator to find an optimal location for our observatory. Okay? But it does have to be nighttime for this to work, you know, to be able to see it, so... Most everything in Astral Sorcery, it has to be nighttime. So just bear that in mind. Pretty much anything that you're doing, light wells, or anything like that, you are going to want it to be night. But we do have enough liquid starlight, though, for right now. We're pretty well set on that. But basically this, we're going to be able to find kind of where... Actually, I think I can just put this into my offhand, right? I think that would work. We're going to try that. And just kind of like blink around, see if we can find what we're looking for here. These things are fairly rare, so it might be hard to find it. I was hoping to have one near the town. I will say that that route that we found up there is a fairly good location for getting a lot of starlight. It would appear, but we can actually do a little bit better. Okay, I actually just found one. Right here, you can see how it's kind of like pillowing smoke, almost. They're kind of hard to spot, but this is a star field. Or, that's what I'm going to call it. Basically, it is where starlight, I guess the way to explain it would be, it's kind of like where that bit of ground has a lot of access to starlight. Okay, like the stars like really shine on it. But basically that's just like, you want to kind of try to find one of those places before you set up a more permanent setup for your Astral Sorcery stuff, because that's where, you know, a lot of starlight's going to be coming in. We're going to want to use that, harness all that starlight that's coming down and everything. Now next episode, I'm going to do a bit of looking around between this episode and next and see what all star fields I can find near like places that I want to build. Because like if we look at the map here, you know, we've got this area here that we're going to, you know, that we're building a town in. Also the desert up here we're going to build a town in. Probably this jungle area I'm going to build a town. Now the jungle, it's very likely that the jungle may not be like a mine colonies town, because I want to keep the dense jungle. I don't want lumberjacks tearing everything up or anything like that. But we are going to have a couple little towns spread around. Not all mine colonies, but, you know, some other stuff as well. And have different things in different places and all that good stuff. But I'm going to kind of see what options I have as far as those, you know, those starfield type areas, and see what we can do and where we want to make a more permanent location for that. But there's one other thing that I want to do before we end out the episode. And I've been crafting up a few things. And let me go get just a little bit of lava. We're going to use our lava and our liquid starlight to set up something in our cobbleworks real quick. That's going to be very, very awesome. Very, very awesome. We are going to give something a shot, and I'm curious to see if this would work. Let me actually just try it out real quick right here. Let me get my bit bag, grab a piece of this living rock brick, and I put it down, say right there, and then I drop sand onto it. Ha, it does work. Okay, that's awesome. Really, we could have done that, now that I think about it, instead of having the slab there. We could have done like a chiseled bit and have it go into a hopper. I might adjust it, but really, I mean, the hopper hock, it's not like it's taking any mana or anything, so it's not really a big concern. But what we're going to do is we are going to have, let's see, we're going to have one liquid here. And we'll just kind of build this up, and then we're going to have our other liquid on the other side. So this is going to be another one wide part of our cobbleworks. Very, very easy, very, very small setup. No, I'm going to bring this up by one. Okay. So instead we'll have it up here. So I'm going to put this like right there. And we'll put that right there. And then I'm going to put the hopper down right here. Just feeding right over into that. And then what we'll do is we'll have a drawer setting right here. We're going to put sand into this. We're going to lock it in. There we go. And that's most of the build. It's most of it. Oh yeah, I'm going to need mana glass. I've got 2 pieces. That's perfect. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And then what we're going to do, we'll just have living rock right there. We'll have living rock right there. And then if we pop up here, I'm going to put living rock down right there as well. And living rock right there. And then really, I guess I don't have to have this come out too, so we'll just put living rock right there. Okay, and then living rock right there. That way I can kind of hide the liquids back. And then let's get a chiseled bit. Actually, that's a chiseled bit. Yeah, we'll just put it right there. That's fine. That's not a problem. Okay, no. I want to put the chiseled bit right down at the bottom right there. Okay, so it's barely even noticeable. And then what we're going to do is let's pop up here. And I'm going to pull up this dirt for just a minute. Don't want that to go there. We'll pull up that piece, and we'll pull up, say, this piece right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our lava down. Oh, let me put the mana glass in real quick. So the mana glass is going to go right there. And then we'll put our lava right there. And then a bucket of that liquid starlight, we'll just put that down right back in there. And actually, let me break that off for just a moment here. And that should... There's like liquid starlight right there. Like stopping it up or something. Can I... No! And there we go. It's actually creating sand like crazy fast right now. As fast as the hopper can put it in. Okay. I don't know if that's going to generate a lot of lag. It probably will, actually. I may have to upgrade to a hopper hawk, in fact. Just because it's not... The hopper's not going to keep up with that. There's no way the hopper's going to keep up with that. I've never tried setting this up before, so this is my first time, too. This is amazing. Like, it's such crazy, crazy speed. Okay, let me go get one of these hopper hawks. It's still not as fast as I would like, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to instead then change this over, so I can find that hopper hawk. There we go. I'll just put down some living rock right there, and then we'll just bring this down around. And I've got some conveyors upstairs, and we'll just use conveyors. I'm going to have to get a void upgrade in this, like, very, very quickly. But, I mean, it's making, like, a piece of sand, like, every, like, quarter second or something. It's so fast. It's just crazy fast. That looks like... Somehow it's making aquamarine shale. Or we got a piece of aquamarine shale. Like, just randomly from this. I don't know. So now it's dropping it onto the conveyor belt, and the conveyor belt's just sending it into there. I think that'll be a bit more effective. Okay, we're gonna have to do upgrades for this. Let me craft up some upgrades real quick, and then we'll probably end out the episode. Because that thing, whenever I left, that thing was almost full. Like, I picked up the sand that was down there, and it almost filled up that drawer already. So, it's not something we're going to want to leave running without a place to store these items. Yeah, see, it's already filled. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a void, and there we go. Now we can store up 1,664 stacks of sand. And, I mean, you can see, I mean, it's generating just crazy fast. Like, that's just ridiculous. And I wonder if the aquamarine shell, if that's going to be a common thing. Or not. Or if that was just some, like, fluke. I don't know how we got a piece of aquamarine shell from that. Because if it starts producing that, that would be awesome. Like, have maybe another conveyor that comes over and grabs the or I don't know, hopper hawk, even. Because it's not very common. And just have it building up aquamarine shell. I don't know. But anyways, there we go. Yeah, okay, yeah, see? This is doing that lava thing. Where it's flowing all the way down. We don't have time this episode because it is a wrapping up point. It's past wrapping up point. Next episode, I'll quickly show you guys how to fix that. It's very, very simple, just using a piston and a timer. Not very difficult at all. But we are going to go ahead and mark off one more thing off of our clipboard. 2 more things, actually. We have sand in our cobbleworks. And then, in addition, we have started Astral Sorcery. Okay? Next episode, we're going to continue on a little bit with Astral Sorcery and do a little bit more with that next episode. Man, I feel like that's just building up to, like, just crazy amounts inside of there. Okay. I cleared it out. I think it was just backed up from whenever I was first setting it up. Now it seems to be okay. But, yeah, we've got 55 stacks of sand already. Yay. Never have to worry about sand ever again. And then all we have to do is automate cooking of it. We'll have sand, we'll have glass, and there we go. So, anyways, with that, I'm going to end out the episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like we got a bit done, right? We got Astral Sorcery, we did dragons, and we have smooth stone and sand production in place, which is great. But next episode, Astral Sorcery, and we will probably... Let me take a look here. We will probably do a little bit more in the cobbleworks. I kind of want to do a little bit each episode instead of just spending a whole episode doing nothing but that. We might do clay next episode, or maybe do metamorphic stone. I would like some metamorphic stone, honestly, for building purposes. So, I don't know. We might do clay, we might do metamorphic stone. We'll see. Probably one of those two, though. And include those into our cobbleworks. So, anyways, and... yeah, we'll fit something into this little section, so it'll basically be like, you know, 5 little things being created throughout here. And then probably put something over here, and then do some other stuff elsewhere, but we shall see. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, as always, do let me know, and I'll do my best to get those answered for you. And if you guys enjoyed the episode, as always, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. I'm going to try to have the next video out on Sunday. That's my goal. My goal anyways. That thing like sped up all of a sudden. But anyways, and next episode I'll show you guys how to fix that stone gen. You know, it's a really quick, easy fix. So it's nothing major. But anyways, I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.